Did a lot of research on this topic of trapped emotions. So I'll be sharing some of my research, some of my study in this regard today. I also made a little PowerPoint. I mean, it's not a PowerPoint, it's a keynote, but get the idea. Okay, so I'll be speaking today a little bit about in Bhagavad Gita, the characters, starting from Arjuna, the Pandavas, and the Kauravas, and the unresolved emotions due to which the whole, Kurukshetra war happened because of unresolved emotions. If we want to take that perspective of emotions, I've been studying this point about vulnerability, and that how great devotees in Gita and Mahabharata and Bhagavatam, their actual success came from that point of vulnerability, from that point of accepting imperfections, from that state of surrendering to Krishna with that uncertainty that they were going through as humans. And as that research led me to think more and more in terms of emotions, because there's a whole research team. We are working on like an application in the Krishna app thing, and they were sharing how Gita is so full of emotions. There are so many emotions that led to different personalities developing different kinds of psyche and reacting to different situations in different ways. And then also in the war, how people were fighting was also so much about emotions. So we cannot subtract emotions from philosophy, because especially Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, because it's all about loving Krishna. It's all about putting our emotions on putting our emotions in the right place, dealing with the unresolved emotions that comes as part of our human experience. Okay, let me take you through like 2-3 principles and then explain what that actually means in terms of Gita teachings. Here we can see the Pandavas. Oh, I don't think you're seeing the Pandavas here. Pandavas, here they are. Okay. I mean, this is from one of the Mahabharata episodes, I think Krishna episodes, where this is Krishna, and then there is Kunti Devi, and then there are the Pandavas. This is Bhima, this is Yudhishthir, this is Arjuna, Nakul and Sahadev, and this is Krishna, and this is Kunti. If we look at the Pandavas, we can see how each of them had their own.
I think. He's Draupadi.
Not Kunti, I'm sorry, it's Draupadi. So when we look at the characters of Mahabharata, we see different people had different personalities, right? There was Yudhishthir Maharaj, the perfectionist, the justice-oriented temperament. His temperament was like, where is justice? That was his mood. And therefore his emotions were very much filtered and carefully channeled towards emotions that would flow towards justice, emotions that would flow towards truth. And then we have Bhima. Bhima's nature was very different from Yudhishthir. And his emotions were, if he wants to protect somebody, nothing can stop. And if he wants to destroy somebody, nobody can stop. Bhima, typically Bhima was what we call in the Enneagram personality types, as he was the challenger, the type 8. Yudhishthir would be the type 1, the perfectionist or the justice-oriented type of person who's very aware of the right and the wrong and very attached to what he thinks is right and wrong. And there were many tests for Yudhishthir. His emotions had to choose between his righteousness and Krishna's will. There were times like that for Yudhishthir Maharaj. And similarly for Bhima as well. His emotions would flow towards where his heart was, or where he took it up as a challenge. He had promised that he will break the thigh of Duryodhana, right? And rip open that oof, I cannot even like oof. He did it. He actually ripped open the chest of Dushasana, and he pretended to drink the blood. He didn't actually drink, the Acharya says, but he pretended to be drinking the blood from the chest of Dushasana. So that's like a challenger. Once he takes up a challenge, nothing can stop him. So his emotions were flowing in that direction. But what I want us to like look at, in Arjuna, we have seen his whole play of emotions in the first chapter of Gita. His emotions were in turmoil because he was torn, right? He was torn between his image and then his emotions and attachments and feelings towards his family members. And Arjuna was like completely lost in his, I don't know, he didn't know where to channel that energy. And then what we learned from Arjuna is that channeling our energy to Krishna is the best way, regardless of our natures. Because our natures are conditioned anyway. It's acquired nature. It's not like a permanent, transcendental, fixed nature. It's acquired nature. So this is what we can see in Mahabharata, that they had their emotions. Like, first thing we learn is that when we learn our lessons, difficult situations go away. And difficult situations go away doesn't exactly mean that we don't have to learn the lessons or fight the war. But the difficulties that we see in the situation goes away. And I was thinking, to give an example, sometime we may be experiencing, okay, for example, okay, I was talking to one of my mentors and explaining how I'm going through a tough situation right now, socially, with how people are dealing with my husband, etc. But as soon as I change that perspective to this is exactly what Krishna wants, this is exactly what Krishna's plan is, the difficulty part goes away. Yeah, the perspective with which I see the difficulty. Yeah, I mean, the purpose of the difficulty, if we understand that, no, this is meant to happen this way because Krishna wants it, and it's actually a gift. It's actually something that Krishna is giving it. I'm not able to see it as a gift. I'm actually seeing it as a punishment, but actually it's a gift. Then the difficulty goes away. The difficult situation goes away, and actually we start nourishing and experiencing that, oh my God, Krishna is personally given the situation. Like right now, I'm able to see who are real friends and who are not. People are going away or not supporting us, saying things, and I'm like, it hurts, right? It really hurts. Betrayal hurts. At the same time, if I want to see it that, wow, Krishna is arranging this situation so I can actually know who are real friends and who are not. So, it's all about perspective again, right? Like Vilas Manjari is saying here in the chat box, but perspective with which I see difficulty changes. Yeah, the perspective can change when we have faith that Krishna knows what situation to give me and why he has given me. But it's so hard because my emotions, the emotions can be felt in Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. And in Tamaguna, I see difficulty. I'm going to say I because we all have mixtures of gunas. We all mix and see it in different ways. So for me, in Tamaguna, when difficulties come, I get depressed and I get sick. That's exactly what happened to me in the past few days. Such difficulties coming, and then I'm getting physically sick. I'm getting emotionally sick. And I was thinking, wow, these emotions really are powerful. It can make us sick. There is the mind level of emotional suppression, which comes as a result, as a consequence, as a physical illness, basically. We sometimes separate mind and body, but actually they are super connected. I'll come to that in a minute. And so in Tamaguna, the body and the mind reacts by going into depression, withdrawal. Why? Because I'm suppressing certain emotions of grief, emotion of disappointment, emotion of confusion. So when I'm not properly dealing with it, then feelings of low self-worth, sadness, worry, guilt, and more can all too easily be bottled up and stuffed deep inside of us. And this is Duryodhana here, by the way. So we all have that Duryodhana inside us. We may grow into like, I'm going to do a successful business. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to whatever it is that I might externally put my mind into. I may end up like walking in the street and not care what people say or whatever, externally I may put up a shield, but internally what's happening to me is what happened to Duryodhana, right? And Duryodhana, what was happening is he never had a strong sense of self-worth. He was always insecure. Oh my God, Pandavas are getting ahead of me. Oh my God, what if this happened? Oh, what if the Pandavas get it? So he was so insecure that his emotions were so suppressed that he never accepted that. See his muscles. Wow, you can see his nerves and veins going through his body, like super muscular guy, right? And yet internally he was so fragile, so weak. So sometimes we also wear nice clothes, get nice degrees, get nice jobs, get nice husbands, have good children, but what about our sense of self-worth? What are we attaching that to? How people are treating us, what other people may get better husband than us, maybe they get better house than us, but there will always be people who have better things than we do. What do we do with that emotion? What do we do with that sadness or guilt? Guilt that, oh, maybe I could have studied better, or maybe I could have waited longer to get married, or maybe I should have been a better wife, or I could have had children by now. All stuff, right? It's normal, it's natural. But are we bottling it up and stuffing it deep inside of us and letting it become like a part of the psyche, or are we dealing with that? And when we don't deal with that, and when not dealt with, these emotions lead to emotional problems, self-sabotaging behavior, and physical health problems. I mean, in case of Duryodhana was a self-sabotaging behavior, okay, he brought the entire dynasty to be destroyed. He brought all the gurus and the teachers and the brothers and everybody to give up their lives for his sake. So that's a typical self-sabotaging behavior. You remember when Duryodhana said to Krishna, when Krishna came to make a compromise, he told Krishna, I will not give enough space to plant a pin in the ground. I will not give that much space to the Pandavas. What else is that but self-sabotaging behavior? Sometimes when we are angry, when we are upset, we want the other person to suffer. We want the other person to know how we feel, how painful our situation has been. There is that natural human anger and wrath to want the other person to suffer and feel the same amount of pain. But what we forget is, it's like drinking poison and expecting another person to die. Resentment is such a thing. Envy is such a thing. People have their own karmas. We cannot stop their course of life and enjoyment. Whatever they have to enjoy, they will. But what I'm doing in the process of, these emotions, such as negative emotions, I'm only self-sabotaging myself. Okay. Just give me a second. I don't know how to stop this. Okay. I'm gonna stop the share. I mean, there are many other things I want to share in terms of problems we have, physical problems, how emotions causes what kind of physical problem. But before that, I do want to share a few more things in relation to, okay, let's see. Okay, first of all, you may ask, what is unresolved emotion? So let me go get there. It's, even scientifically, it's proven. Astrology, I'm an astrologer. Unresolved, or like, this kind of emotions that we suppress, that is what is behind all kinds of disease and suffering. all these suppressed emotions, it turns into all the miseries that we go through. And people who don't do that, they don't get cancer. They don't get sick in that way. They don't even have emotional outbursts. People who work on dealing with emotions. So, what? Okay, unresolved emotions versus resolved emotions. Both are within us, and unresolved emotions makes us sick, and resolved emotions helps us to cure ourselves from circumstances and gives us the strength to face life. So if you ask me, like, what is an unresolved emotion? Unresolved emotion on a karmic level, on an astrological level, we can figure that out with Rahu and Ketu, for instance, is basically all these emotions that we are sometimes aware of, sometimes we're not, but they're not dealt with over in one's lifetime. From childhood, middle age, we keep it. So some would recognize that becomes like, maybe some of you may recognize that it's a pattern. Sometimes we have certain pattern, sometimes a physical pattern, sometimes it's an emotional one. So those kind of patterns of behavior, we may observe that within our, like, parents. Like, for example, I may see one of my parents never having the strength to express, I need help. Okay, that's like, she like my mom, for example, she has difficulty in expressing I want help. She cannot ask that because she came from family which told her, no, you're not supposed to. She has that suppressed emotion, and then her pattern is to keep feeling that, oh, you see, you don't want to help me, but she never wants to ask it. So it becomes like a pattern. So like that, we can usually see other people doing it, and when we are doing it, it's hard for us to recognize. So basically, constricting and suppressing emotions that are not comfortable for us, right? We don't want to feel those emotions, whatever it may be. Maybe I don't want to feel weak. Maybe I don't want to feel vulnerable. Maybe I don't want to feel humble, whatever it is. Okay, it becomes part of us. And then it becomes part of my psyche. Then, like we saw, like Duryodhana or something, they becomes into self-worth and sadness and anger and guilt. And then all these things get very easily bottled up. It becomes all mixture of emotions. First, I'm feeling low self-worth, but then I'm not dealing with it properly. Then I'm getting upset and angry. And then because I'm becoming upset and angry, I become guilty that I had been upset and angry. So, then it becomes like worry. Oh my God, what's going to happen as a result of that? So then all this gets bottled up within us, deep inside of us. And then it leads to emotional problems. It leads to physical problems. Yeah. So it's quite very, very common that people get sick quite often because of these buried emotions. And I don't mean sickness just like some cold and fever. I mean to say sickness in terms of damage to certain organs in our body, heart disease or cancer. All this happens due to several years of suppression of these emotions. And emotions, see, we are not taught, this is unfortunately not the education that we get. We're not taught how to acknowledge this kind of dormant emotions, how to not let that go into the pathway of our bodies and let that become a disease. And also we are not taught how to deal with our past emotions, both negative and positive. Even positive emotions can sometimes make us lose track. It's like overjoy or overconfidence also can be a cause of diseases as well. So emotion, okay, where I'm ending with this topic is all these things, okay, emotional repression or impulsive actions, feelings of being blocked in life, or abuse from family members, emotional verbal abuse included. We are very uncomfortable with talking about past negative experiences. So all these emotions going somewhere. And then, mistakes, fear of making mistakes, all this stuff. So you may ask, how does that lead to a disease? As I was saying earlier, unfortunately, we all separate our bodies and minds But the truth is both astrological level, physical level. According to Bhagavatam, Narad Muni also speaks about it, that more body and mind are interrelated. Also, scientific research has proven that illness, it stems from not just from, sickness is not just stemming from germs and bacteria and virus and bad food habits and genetics. It's actually, the reality is that all these things does play an important role in our life, it does. At the same time, we also have the immune system that fights it. Yet the belief system and the way we live our life, like the mindset, the kind of peace of mind that we can have, that how does the natural immunity come from, is the way how strong our mind is. In other words, the stronger the mind, the stronger the spiritual understanding of ourselves, the more harmony we have with our emotions, and we're not self-sabotaging ourselves, and the stronger our body is, and then it creates that balance. So it's a combination of, yes, definitely lifestyle, but also the emotions that contributes to our overall wellness. So therefore, there's direct links between disease and emotions. Anger is very much connected to cancer. Also, like the two types of people get cancer. One are those who suppress their emotions of anger, and the other are who express their emotion of anger in an unbalanced way. Like that. I mean, so many diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart disease, they all have roots with emotions. Okay. I mean, I don't want to go on and on, but that's something I have a few more. I definitely, this is going to take another lecture to speak more about the stress and unresolved emotions, how that becomes a habit, and how to cut that chain of that kind of habits, and how to have that freedom. But in general, this is the conclusion, that we can have a holistic approach to health by taking care of our physical health with, yes, definitely lifestyle, but also being aware, working through our emotions, and working through our past and our traumatic experiences, and to weave all that in and make the best bargain. What do you say? Make the best deal of the bad bargain. Take all those things and turn that into philosophical opportunities. Yeah, let me show you this one last slide. The text font is a little small here. Let me try to make it big. Maybe I can zoom it in. I mean, this is very interesting. Let me make 1 second. Just give me a second. I'll make the screen bigger before I mean, to those who are doctors like that, this will be very interesting research. Where does it start from here? Oh, there's something in the chat box I haven't seen. Let's see. Yes, okay. Please, can you read it? Vilas Manjari, can you read what you have written and also what Taruni Radha has written, please? Meanwhile, I prepare the screen share.
Yeah, I wrote perspective with which I see, if I see negative emotion as intense energy, unresolved emotion is like unregulated negative energy. So that will affect, it has to go somewhere. So it goes to physical body. And Taruni Radha wrote, excellent class, Radha Govinda Mataji. Please, can you take a class on this, how to work on unresolved emotions?
Yes, definitely. I learned some techniques. Maybe after this 2 slides, I'll teach you some of those techniques. We can do it right now. Something that helped me immensely. So these are 2 things, these 2 slides that I prepared. I don't know if you want me to read everything or you want to take one. Yeah, let's volunteer and read a few, okay? Anybody ready? Just read it one by one.
I can read, Mataji. Problems with our health. Feeling that something is wrong with us, Hair problem, lack of strength, tension.
Next.
Ear problems, unwillingness to hear what's going on around you, anger about what is heard. Stomach problems, inability to assimilate new experiences, fear of new ideas. Neck problems, stubbornness, inability to see the other side of the equation. Pass.
Throat problems, feeling inadequate to stand for yourself, repressed anger, swallowing emotional hurt. Ironic, I'm going through that right now. Back problems, lack of support, upper back, lack of emotional support, holding back love. Middle back, guilt, lower back, lack of financial support, fear of money. I'm telling you, this back problem thing is something I've analyzed based on personal relationships with my mom, my aunt, my friends, my cousin, different people in my life. Women especially have back problems. And this is so true. This is exactly like their situation. One of my friends, close friends, has lower back problem. And this is exactly her situation. She doesn't have financial support, and she's like always like feeling that sense of fear, how I'm going to take care of the kids. She's always suffering lower back problem. It's amazing, you know. Okay, eye problems. Not liking what you see in life, not wanting to see the past, present, or the future, not seeing the truth. Knee problem, inflexibility, stubbornness, inability to bend, ego. Okay, can we have another volunteer to read this?
Leg problems, inability to move forward,
Lung
reluctance for the future. Wow. I agree.
Go on.
It's not, leg problems is the last one I see. Oh, lung problems. Sorry, lung problems. Feeling what we do not have the right to live life fully. Mouth problems, incapacity to take ideas, closed mind, set opinions. Nerve problems, confused thinking, fear, struggle, anxiety. Breast problems, over mothering a place, person, a thing, or an experience. Wow. Heart
Yep.
problems, denying yourself joy and love.
Bladder problems, being pissed off. Colon problems, inability to let go, holding on to the old. Leg problems, inability to move forward, reluctance of for the future. Anyway, this is just, I mean, there is much more, but for today, I just thought, okay, something to bring up. But I want to, I'm sorry, excuse me. I want to do this exercise on what Taruni Radha has shown, has expressed here. Let me put on whiteboard because this will help me to write what I want to express in a clear way. Okay. Let's see. This is a formula, okay? This is something that has helped me a lot. You can do it right now. So this is actually a very powerful way of treatment. One of the therapists taught me this, and I've used it for a long time. And we did it in one of our lectures as well. Somebody is trying to do something with the file. I don't know, if somebody's trying to take control of it and I'm not able to type, please don't do anything. Just leave it. Don't type anything on it. Don't move your mouse on it. Okay. So this is a formula, okay? I fully release the emotion of I mean, this is a system where there's a way to figure out even what are the trapped emotions. So we all of us have different trapped emotions from childhood, and so sometimes we are experiencing it right now. Like, let's see. Okay, everybody, relax your shoulders, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and observe your mind, observe your body. Which part of your body do you feel pressure or a presence of some emotions? Just feel it. Breathe in. As you're breathing out, which part of your body is drawing your attention? And try to recognize the emotion. What is the emotion that's coming up? Like for me right now, there was this emotion of fear that I was feeling around my neck and my chest area. First, you'll feel a sensation, like something there. You feel it. Then you try to recognize it, get aware of that, and try to see what is that emotion. Also, I'm feeling confusion, like that. Whatever it is, so whatever you're getting, think of that emotion. And we're going to do this formula. You don't have to unmute yourself. It muted itself. I'm going to say fear and confusion because that's what came up for me. You do whatever emotions came up for you. So keep your body open. Like, don't cross your legs. Keep your leg open. Keep your hands open. Take a deep breath. And focusing on that place where this emotion is shown to you. You say this loudly. I fully release the emotion of fear. I fully release this emotion of fear. I fully release this emotion of fear. Usually we say it 3 times, but after saying it 3 times, again, take a deep breath. Feel it again. Is it still there? Is it still, do you feel that block? Do you feel the trapped emotion there in that particular part? I feel lighter already. Some other emotion will come up. It's coming up for me. So you have to be, it's a meditation. It's a body. It's a mindfulness. It's about being present, looking at it, because it's all there. It's stuck. That trapped emotion is trying to be somewhere in the body. So what we do is we catch the trapped emotion and we release it consciously. We consciously release it. It takes some work, but whenever we do this regularly, we don't get triggered so easily by circumstances because we are releasing this. It's not going to suddenly catch us. So let's do another one. I fully release the emotion of confusion. I fully release the emotion of confusion. I fully release the emotion of confusion. This is very powerful. Sometimes I used to do this a lot at one point. I used to sit down and different childhood memories would come, different blocked emotions, trapped emotions would come up, and I would just keep releasing. Sometimes it would take more than 2, 3, 4 times of saying it. And finally, I would feel it lighter. So like that, it's all these emotions are trapped inside us. It's all there. So this is one exercise. Any questions about the exercise? So this is the way to unblock or release the trapped emotions.
This was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Radha Govinda Mataji.
Yeah. Actually, we should do this as a everyday morning sadhana. We wake up and we see what emotions today am I feeling. I have a friend of mine. We do something like outreach. We often connect on outreach calls like that. And even if you have, say, 3 minutes each, she takes about 30 to 40 seconds. She just says, okay, let me see what's going on with me. And she just completely starts experiencing her body. And then she says, okay, so my mind is saying this, and actually I feel a sort of a pressure in my throat. She's so aware, I'm not in that level. I'm still learning that, but this is so powerful way for a woman to actually be aware of her emotions, to feel it where it is in my body, where I'm feeling that pressure. And then, without impulsively reacting and, acting very like animalistic or acting like a man, we actually connect with that feminine energy, and we take control. We take control of that and release that negativity, hand it over to Krishna, ask Nrsingadev to remove that. And then, this actually, there are levels of this exercise. And one of the exercises, I don't highly recommend it, but it was one of the things I tried. The therapist or the other devotee was actually taking control of my subconscious mind, something like that, and would say, okay, I found a trapped emotion in 1997 when you were 13 years old, like that, and then the person says, think of what happened, what could have happened. I'm like, is it something regarding my father? And then the devotee is like, no, it's not regarding your father. Oh, is it regarding my teacher? Yes, it's regarding your teacher. It's the emotion of fear. And then I say, okay, I release it. I say that I fully release, I fully release, I fully release, like that. And then sometimes the devotee is like, she was telling me, no, it's still there. It's still not gone. And I do it again over and over like that. But that's like a subconscious way of cleansing. But what I found most powerful is the conscious way of cleansing. As soon as it comes up, I clean it. I actually have a book. I used to do this. I have a whole book. I used to write down every day how many trapped emotions I was releasing. Oh, by the way, in that method that I was telling you, when she first scanned me, and she scanned my friend also, she scanned me also. And then, it's like a very expensive sort of a thing, like that, and then you really need trusted people. Like a lot of people could cheat you with this stuff. But then she scans the body, and then she says, I still remember. She says, Shri Radha Govinda, you have 108 trapped emotions. I was almost celebrating because I was thinking, oh, that's a very auspicious number. And then my friend, she had 370 trapped emotions. And then out of them, there were, what do you call them? I forget, but like some of them are like no will to live emotions. It means like it really went deep into the subconscious mind. And then it makes us feel so depressed, and I don't have no will to live. And then I remember consciously also several times I released this emotion of no will to live. Sometimes it comes up for me, like, sometimes it comes up like I don't have a will to live. I don't know, no will to live and will to die. That's two different things. So recognizing that, and then I was releasing it. I don't want to. I want to dedicate my life to Krishna. I don't want to waste my time thinking I don't want to live. So I'm sure that Bhishma and Drona, they all had those trapped emotions. So it's very important to release them as soon as it comes, so that we don't, hold on to this graveyard of trapped emotions for lifetime, and then come back next lifetime again to solve them. Yes, Vilas Manjari.
Yeah. For me, I was I'm trained not to pay so much attention to emotions, and work so much on intelligence part, like strengthening the intelligence part, and which again brings me back to, watering the root of the tree, that devotional process. So even if it's a powerful process, releasing the emotions, while doing this, strengthening my devotional service also resolves a lot of emotions, right? Strengthening Krishna Sambandha.
See, there are different levels of emotions, okay? Arjuna's devotional, what did you say? What is the word you used?
Strengthening Krishna's relationship with my relationship with Krishna. Krishna
Yeah,
Sambandha.
something you said, Sambandha, what you said? You said Sambandha Jnana, something like that. Okay. See, you know that there are different, the self has different layers, different levels. Okay. So what you're speaking of is on the spiritual level, when we are working on our spiritual identity. What I'm speaking of is on a more basic level. It's like, you may say, if I become devotee of Krishna and I do deity worship, automatically my house will be cleaner, you may say. Yes, but you still have to go and bring a harpic or whatever liquid you need to go and clean your bathroom, right? You need the toilet brush to go and clean your bathroom. So the process of Krishna consciousness, sadhana bhakti, chanting of the holy name, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, they do cleanse our heart, meaning they will inspire us to keep our hearts clean, our homes clean, right? But we still have to do the work of take the broom and go and clean the house, go and wipe the floor, and whatever it is, that action that it takes. So yes, the spiritual process of logically trying to explain to ourselves things is a powerful way of cleansing, of preparing to clean. But we still need to do that work of developing compassion, giving up resentment. I mean, Vilas Manjari, who else would know better? You have done such a tremendous work over the last year or more on journaling, on inventory of your emotions, to see, like, sometimes we feel, I've learned so much from you, sometimes we feel an emotion of anger. Okay, right? We feel angry that my husband is not keeping the house clean. I'm just giving a random example here. My husband is not keeping the house clean. Emotion is anger, right? But if I take responsibility and make the inventory properly, I'm angry, and then second thing comes, oh, I actually wanted to meet my friends. I was inviting them home and I wanted them to be, like, impressed by me, how I'm keeping the house. So it comes, okay, there was something selfish there, right? And then the other thing, okay, what is my part of the responsibility, or what is it that I need to do or not do? Like that, we develop that devotional quality. It's not like automatic machine thing that I sit down in one place, I don't care what's happening with my husband's health or whoever's health, I'm just chanting there. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is there are levels of working on our anartha nivritti. There are levels of cleaning the house. Yes, deity worship will inspire you to keep your house clean, but we still need to go and clean the house. I don't know if that's helpful.
It's interdependent.
It's interdependent, definitely. Anything else? Anybody else? Any other question? Comments?
It's powerful, makes us more aware, that exercise.
Yeah. Actually,
I was
that's the process
thinking,
of bhakti. It makes us more aware and makes us take charge. Yes, Taruni Radha.
so I was just thinking that this will actually enhance our bhakti also, right? Because once we're sorting out of this, right? Once you sort out all these kind of negative emotions, you're releasing them, it makes you more lighter, and then you'll feel more connected to Krishna, I feel. I mean, that's the way I see it.
Yes, that's true. I mean, if we want to take gut health, physical health, it's like, when we're feeling sick or tired or whatever, when we take some, you do a tea cleanse or something like that. You just drink and cleanse your bowels and whatever, you actually feel energetic. Am I right? It happens,
Yes.
right? So that's the process. We are feeling, oh, I want energy drink is not giving us energy, but when we clean the body, energy automatically comes back. So it's the same process. All these trapped emotions is taking the space of bhakti and other, sadhana and discipline. We are not able to stay disciplined because all this trapped emotion is blocking us, right? There's a block, the roadblocks. Yeah, it's so true. Good point, Taruni Radha. Thank you. Also, these small sicknesses is a way that the body is trying to push out those emotions. Like sometimes we get cold, coughs, headaches. It's a way that the body is trying to release that emotion in its own way, And it's capacity like that. But immediately, I mean, imagine the potency when we, like Taruni was saying, if we consciously release it, imagine how empowered we can feel. There's so much more space for positive emotions when we get rid of all this burdensome negative emotions.
It's also feeling like, see, even getting to know about this knowledge from you today, this can also be like, our prayer to Krishna, the answer for our prayer to Krishna, that, this is the way, just do this. And then you'll be feeling much more lighter. And then you can focus much more when we are chanting like that. I'm feeling that this can be an answer. This method that you expressed and just your association today is like an answer to my prayer. Like that, I'm feeling, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we do this like yesterday also we did in the morning. I mean, right now I'm in India, it's evening. So this morning we did a Bhagavatam reading, and then right after that we did like a small like affirmations, meditations. And that's what we do. Affirming the Krishna, I don't want these negative emotions. Please remove them from me. And please give me the strength to do your will. Give me the patience to do devotional service. It's so beautiful when we come together and like it's like promises, like come together as devotees and say, Krishna, we are telling each other, like imagine I come and say, Taruni, tomorrow I'm going to chant 16 rounds. So I have to do it just because I told you, sometimes tomorrow I'm going to read this chapter. So it's really nice to come together with that sankalpa that today, Krishna, I'm releasing this negative emotion. And when we tell it in front of others, there is potency because we get blessings, right? We get that emotion. Something else you said, I thought that was a very good point. Yeah, you were saying how it can actually, by cleansing this, we get more opportunities to stay connected to Krishna. My point was, it goes hand in hand. Like we don't have to wait. When we say Krishna, we wake up and let's say I'm feeling depressed. When I wake up, happens, right? Some days I wake up and I say, Krishna, please take away this depression. I don't want it anymore. And then I chant anyway, even if I'm feeling depressed. I don't have to wait for the depression to leave me. So it's like it goes hand in hand. We can ask Krishna for help and do. My grandmother often says, Krishna will not keep debts of even one single flower, or chanting one holy name, he will never forget. He will repay you back. So it's like, even however miserable I'm feeling, if I offer my flowers, if I offer my chanting, Krishna will reciprocate like that.
Just to add to what you said, affirming in the association of devotees, how powerful it was. Just yesterday, Vilas Manjari, I told you, right? Or she had come to our home, and in the end of that was the only last thing that I heard was like how you said, let's just we affirm to be careful in our devotional service as a takeaway from the story. And just by saying that, I was not even that side. I was in this side of the hall because something was going on with my son. And you won't believe it, today morning when I'm like chanting, that thought just came to my mind. Should be careful in my devotional service. And it was so beautiful. It was very powerful, I felt, that thought
True.
came, and then I was trying to be more extra careful. It was so
Yeah.
wonderful. I just wanted to share, and my heartfelt, gratitude for both of you for doing this. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, that's your sincerity, because you wanted it. You wanted that carefulness, and Krishna, you see, like Krishna is like that secretary, who reminds us. One proper disciple used to say, Krishna is my secretary. I tell him to remind me things. So Krishna, he gives knowledge, forgetfulness, remembrance. So if we affirm and say, Krishna, I want to be careful, he reminds us, hey, you wanted to be careful. You remember? Carefully, chant carefully, It's so beautiful. It's true. And yeah, especially when we do it with devotees, it's more powerful. I just wanted to read what Neha wrote. She was feeling heavy in her shoulders and chest, and she feels lighter right now. That's, yeah, see, it works. When we do this releasing thing, I recommend that you do it more often. Whenever you're feeling stressed, close your eyes, feel your body. Okay, I can feel right now, I can feel some pressure in my neck. And then immediately say, what is this emotion? Oh, I feel pressured. So I fully release the emotion of pressure. I fully release the emotion of pressure. So we do that 3 times, and then you see how you feel. You feel lighter. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, next. Kushbu. She says, thank you for this wonderful class. Yes, so helpful. Cleaning our house, because then only I can connect to Krishna. Well, at least for me. Otherwise, it's just a ritual doing everything superficially, because my heart filled with all negative emotions. Thank you so much. Yeah, cleaning the house. Cheto darpana marjanam, right? If we want the mirror of our hearts to be clean, we need to do this. Honesty also. Because sometimes it's easy to just pretend, how are you? I am fine. How are you? I am fine, right? But then we can't do that with Krishna. We have to tell him the truth. How are you? Krishna, I'm feeling so pissed off. I'm so angry. How are you? Oh, I'm actually feeling to kill this bank manager right now. Whatever the emotion is, right? We honestly face it, and then we say, release it. You don't have to control it. You have to react. Don't have to react. We release it. It's not ours. It's not us. It's just the dust on the mirror. The anger is not you. The guilt is not you. The shame is not you. It's just the dust on the mirror. So just let it go. Just release it. Just cleanse that mirror. Oof, easier said than done. Anything else? Mm-hmm. Oh. So many times we go to doctors, try to figure out what's wrong. Autoimmune disease is also typical of emotions going against us, our own emotions going against us. Then it turns into our own cells acting against us, because the cells get confused. Negative thinking causes autoimmune disease. And then we wonder, right? What medicines to give, what to do. But the most powerful thing we can do to assess is this awareness, harmony, releasing these trapped emotions. We don't have to live a sick life. The sickness is all coming from the mind, from the expectations, from greed, from lust. So these anarthas are very, very, that's why they're like demons, right? They're like compared to demons. They take over, they possess our body, they possess our mind. We don't need that. We don't have to live like that. We can just release it. Just take it away, Krishna. I don't want it. It's not me. I feel very grateful to have this sangha.
Powerful. I mean, usually our tendency is not to feel them.
Yeah.
The moment we feel guilty or shame or resentment, I used to condemn myself, especially because we are devotee, especially because I'm devotee. I'm not supposed to feel I'm a devotee. I used to become angry on myself. I'm not supposed to feel, but this is powerful.
Yeah.
Feeling them and releasing.
Actually, that thing, what did you say? You were condemning. That condemning ourselves for those natural emotions is also what causes that emotional repression. That emotional repression, causes us causes us to believe in what the medical thing says and all that. But actually, I've seen, people in my family, those who have strong mind, I see them heal faster. My grandmother, my husband, they have very strong mind. And it's not actually medicines, it's their way of thinking that they get back up. And I know some other family members who are more weak-minded, they're negative thinkers, they take so much longer to heal and recover. So it's a fact. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Khushbu has experience with family and patients, right? Even those patients who are strong, they heal faster, right? From tooth extracts as well. One time my dentist appreciated my tolerance, the way I sat there and tolerated, and he was like, "You're really like strong, some other patient would have jumped up and down." It's all very much about. Oh, Shujata, this is recorded, so you can actually replay whatever you missed. So it's 8 o'clock. It's exactly 1 hour, and I'm gonna end this